Hi everyone, welcome to day 4 of Art Camp. Today we will be making our colorful village as well as finishing up our apple pinch pots. So let's get started. First I'm going to set up my sample for the colorful village. Here you go. I'll put this over here while we get out our materials. So for this project you will need the bag with the sequins and the electric tea light, your tacky glue. From your folder, you will need the 2 cutout house templates. And then from home, you will need 1 colored pencil of your choice and your markers. So you can see here that this is like a little lantern that looks like a house. And actually, I decorated it with some of my favorite things. So I want you guys to start thinking about what you want to decorate your house with. The way that I came up with these things was I imagined if I were Hansel or Gretel, what kind of house would I want to find in the woods? And I decided just to make one full of all my favorite things. Super colorful, super bright, super happy. So take this minute to think about what you want to do before we even start drawing. And I am going to set this to the side. Okay, we're going to start with our templates and we're going to do a different drawing technique than we have done for our past projects. I'm going to start with this one, the one that only has one side of windows, and I'm going to take my colored pencil. So we're actually going to sketch out our different items with our colored pencil, then take a marker and color in around them, and then take all of our markers and color in the different items. So you can actually kind of see on this one, I sketched everything with a red colored pencil, then filled out in yellow, then came back in and colored. And a lot of artists do this just so you don't have to worry about erasing your pencil. And then also it's kind of cool to see the color peeking through. Like on the bottom of this cat, you can kind of see the red. Definitely on the fish. So you want to make sure that your colored pencil goes with the background color you're choosing. So I think I'm going to do a light pink as my background for this house, so I chose a purple colored pencil. I think that I want this house to be full of fruit and rainbows, so I am going to start by just sketching out those items all over. I want both sides to be completely covered, basically. But you can see on here that there are little sequins, so you want to make sure to leave a couple empty spots where you can glue on your sequins. I forgot to mention this earlier. These spots that are just like the squares are going to form our roof. So we don't want to put objects on that because we're going to be coloring that a different color. Okay, now I have all my objects drawn. So I'm going to pick out my background color, which I already said was going to be a light pink. I'm going to color everything outside of the lines of my objects except for the tabs and the roof. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on my other template, and I will come back when that is finished. Now that I have colored the background, I'm going to choose a different solid color to color the roof. Now it is time to start coloring in our objects. So I'm going to take my red and just start filling in all the different red fruits. Now I'm going to go through and do my red stripe on all of my rainbows. I'm going to take my orange and do everything orange now. Now yellow. green, with my green, I'm also going to make scalloped lines along my roof to look like shingles. I'm going to go through and color in my peaches with the same pink I used on the background. Now I just have to do all the blue and purple on my rainbows. I have everything colored in, so now I'm going to take my sequins and my tacky glue and glue sequins down in all of the empty spots. And you just want to take a tiny, tiny dot of glue, put it down where you want your sequin, and then press down your sequin. There you go. Okay, I have all my sequins attached, so I'm going to set this aside to dry, and I will come back when we are ready to assemble. Now that the glue for the sequins is dry, it's time to assemble our houses. On these templates, you can see that there are little lines where you're supposed to fold. So go through and fold your pieces in half along that line. One of my sequins just fell off, but that's okay. I'm just going to glue it right back on. Now I'm going to fold the other one. And then I'm going to go through and fold down all the white tabs. Okay, and then the last thing you need to fold down is the roof. Once you have that done, choose one of your halves, and we are going to glue the roof down to this tab. So I'm going to take my tacky glue and do a thin line. And then put these pieces together. And from the inside, I'm pinching down this tab. And you can see some of my glue is seeping out, so I'm just going to wipe that right off. And I'm just going to hold this for like about a minute. And then once it stays stuck down pretty well, I'm going to take my other template and do the same thing with this tab in the roof. Then you're going to want to set both of them aside just to dry for a little bit longer. Once they're dry, you're going to attach the two halves of your house. So you're going to start with these long tabs on the sides. And I'm actually just going to put glue on both of them. You don't want to put too much glue because then it oozes out all over and makes a mess. So I'm going to take this half, and you can kind of see where it's going to fit already. I'll line up the edges. From the inside, I'm going to go and try to press down. And then I'm also going to press this down to this tab. And you want to make sure that like the edges all meet up at those same spots. I'm going to flip it over and just try to keep pressing the different sides together. And this tab actually needs to go inside, so I'm going to put it in there. Try to pinch from the inside as much as you can. And then eventually it should start to just stick on its own. There we go. And then Once I know that my house is going to stay put how I like it, again, I'm just going to set it aside to dry for a little bit longer. Once the long edges are dry, I'm going to stand my house up, and now it's time to glue the roof together. So, taking my glue, I'm going to do a thin line along this tab. You have to be very careful during this part. So, I'm going to do a thin line here. Try to get like the tip of your glue bottle in there to get glue on this tab. And then I'm also going to have to do the same thing for this one. Okay. Now, all at the same time, I'm going to try to press these three together. So there's one tab, there's the second, and then the third one just falls into place. And I have quite a bit of extra glue, so I'm going to go and wipe it off on all the sides. And then you really want to make sure that it's all pressed down good. Okay, so mine looks like it's staying where it is. So I'm gonna go wash this glue off of my hands, and then I'll be back to show you what we do for our finishing touch. Once my glue is dry, I'm going to take the two markers that I used for the background colors, and you can see where I glued it together. Sometimes there's white left over from like where the white tabs were. So I'm just gonna take my marker and fill that in. Okay, once everything is filled in, it's time to light up our house. So take the tea candle out of your bag, flip the switch on the bottom to turn it on, and then you can put your house inside and see it glow. Now, this project is called Colorful Village because hopefully later on we will be able to all come back to the library, bring our art projects with, and then we can arrange all of our houses with the lights inside in a village, and we will have our very own colorful village. But for right now, we can each just keep our own houses to enjoy and look at. I'll see you later for Apple Pinch Pots Part 2. Bye!